my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a killer.
What's up, everyone? This is Blue Nova at Dream Cloud Digital, and today I'm going to give you all a tutorial on Bryson Tiller's Self-Made and how to get the same vocal quality as the song. Personally, to me, I didn't like the quality of the actual Bryson Tiller's actual song. There was a lot of things wrong with it. Personally, to me, as far as the leveling and the overall mastering of the song. But I'm gonna give you all the similar settings to make sure that it does fit in that same style. The first thing I did is, like I said, what I didn't like is that pretty much the whole song was in mono. I can show you all how I saw that later on by the end of the video, or when we get into mastering the beat. So the first thing I did is I dropped this down all the way to the right, and this is the mono separation. So you want to turn that all the way to 100. So playing the vocal raw. So nothing's on the master. So the first thing is having auto-tune VST. There isn't a lot of noticeable auto-tune on this vocal, but just make sure that you copy these settings: input type, soprano, key, B flat, scale minor, retune speed at 10. Just make sure to copy all these other values. So we're going to go ahead and play how it sounds like so far.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, I smoke purple.
So now, you had a Fruity Parametric EQ2. So you want to cut up the band all the way to 100, but really exactly to put it at 132 hertz. Yeah, or 127 hertz to be exact. I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello,
Next thing we have is Fruity Parametric EQ2. On the first band, 63 hertz, 61%, 184, 39%, 294 hertz, 39%. Fourth, 514 hertz, 39%. The sixth, 1749 hertz, 39%. The fifth, 3600 hertz, 39%. And the seventh at 7680 hertz is 61%.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello,
So the next thing I did is I brought in another EQ2. And you can pretty much copy these values on the first band, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth one, and the seventh. We're going to go ahead and play the quality.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello,
So I know you can notice that there's a lot of high frequency in here, but the de-esser is going to go ahead and take care of it. So de-esser stereo will have the audio split, frequency 5506, sidechain at a high pass, monitor on audio, and the threshold at -28. And we're going to go ahead and play how it sounds like.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello,
Next thing is Fruity Reverb 2. This wasn't really necessary in the song. I know he didn't have a lot of reverb in it, but this is what I felt made the song fill in a lot more, fill in better with the instrumental. So delay, put it all the way down to 0. The bass to 100. Put the decay 4.1 seconds. High cut, put it at 1 kilohertz. Size of the room at 100. Crossover 500. The dampness 5.2 kilohertz. Low cut, put it at 1525. Diffusion, put it at 100. The dry level 98%. Early reflection level 76%. And the wet level at 30%. We're gonna go ahead and play how it sounds like.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello,
So after that, I put an Isotope Ozone 5 maximizer, and this will really act as a limiter to really just level out and flatten the vocal down. So I brought the threshold down to -10, and we'll play how it sounds like.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a...
So you can see that the limiter really just brought down and flattened out the vocal. The next thing we have is Fruity Delay 2. This wasn't necessary. I didn't notice any delay presence in Bryson Tiller's vocals. But the next thing I did is for the input volume, put it straight at this level. Feedback normal, volume straight down the middle. Put the cut right here. The time straight down the middle. Same with here. And I really don't even mess with this knob, but you can make sure it's right here.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a...
So the last thing, the last thing we have is Maximus. And what I did, we're gonna go ahead and reset this. On the master, put the soft saturation threshold, move it over 1% to the left, and for the right one, put the saturation down at -3 decibels. What it's gonna do is basically create another ceiling, a saturation level ceiling for the vocal, and this is how it sounds.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself.
And make sure for the high cut, I left this band right here. Left click and drag this down to -6 decibels. This is how it sounds in the high frequency.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself.
So what you'll notice is the purple will be the cutoff, or I guess you could say compression. The white will be what you're actually gonna hear in the playback. For the midsection, brought the band down to -3, brought the second one to -6, and like I said, the white will be the playback, purple will be the cutoff. For the low, didn't do anything to that. So to play everything back,
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a... I smoke purple out the shelf. She want Birkin, she want Gucci purse, she want Chanel. Got it.
So now moving to the instrumental. Like I said, I noticed that the song was in mono. How I figured that out was that when I moved the midsection all the way to the right, the white portion in the audio, it didn't change. Say for example, if you have a song in stereo, like the natural sound, if I was to move this all the way over to the right, there should be a lot of purple inside of the midsection, but there wasn't. Like there was more white than purple, so that's how I noticed there was a lot of mono signals inside of the mix. So the first thing I did on the master, there wasn't anything there. Like I said, I didn't really like the mastering of this instrumental. The snares were pretty loud, so I brought down the compression to -6.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a...
For the midsection, we're gonna go ahead and reset this. Like I said, the white, there wasn't too much. The purple was really more the compression since I brought the gain up so much. So we're gonna go ahead and reset this back. So I brought the gain up to 11 decibels. And I brought the band down to right here and the second one to right here. This is how it sounds.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself. Donatello, that's a...
For the low frequency, the bass, usually I see it at -6. -6 is fine. I didn't adjust anything for the low frequency. So now moving on to the mastering portion. For Maximus, what I do is pretty much for all my mixes, I put the high, I make sure that it's really just limited or compressed to -6 decibels. I don't put anything. All of my songs they have a cutoff frequency of -6, just because I don't want it to go above and hurt people's ears if they listen to it on loud speakers or in a loud venue. So this is how it sounds like.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself.
For the mid, I didn't do anything to it. In the low, nothing was changed. Master just brought it all the way up because we're gonna use the limiter inside of Isotope Ozone 5. You can use Fruity Limiter if you don't have it. Just make sure to put the release down to 0 on a Fruity Limiter. So for Isotope Ozone 5, this isn't really necessary, but I go ahead and do it anyway. select brick wall, make sure it's on. Just click 8 if it's off. Brick wall, low pass, just select it.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself.
And for the maximizer, I just left it alone, kept it at 0, just to retain its natural sound.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself, Donatello, that's a...
And then this ad-lib that he does, I know he says killer inside of the, during the vocal, but it's pretty much separate. Like I have in here, Auto-Tune VST, just copy these settings. I really didn't do too much work in here since there's pretty much like an ad-lib. I just adjusted the EQ to where it sounded right. Just don't even know why I have this. There's really nothing here. And Fruity limiter, I just made sure there was a limiter to hit the ceiling at the top.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself, Donatello, that's a killer. I smoke purple.
So that pretty much wraps up this tutorial. If you have any more requests, put it in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to Blue Nova Beats and subscribe to DreamCloud Digital. If you have any questions, email me at bluenovabeats@gmail.com. If you need to purchase any beats or mixing and mastering, go to bluenovabeats.com. Alright, thank you all for watching.
Gucci on my belt, buy the necklace for myself, buy Giuseppe for myself, spent them blessings on myself, Donatello, that's a killer.